T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you are in the live chat, we do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platform utilizing today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when we go live. So good morning, everybody. It's morning for me. I just wanted to come on here and do something really quick. There's been an article that's been circulating in the news, mainstream media as well, for the last couple of days regarding a submarine that's disappeared or went missing on its way to the Titanic. And there were some things that I kind of thought pretty interesting about this. Only because I had just recently started doing some research on the Titanic. I literally, like the day before yesterday, read a paper, and it was very well written, discussing the conspiracy, and I'm going to say conspiracy lightly because there is a lot of evidence to support it, as with all conspiracy theories, that the Titanic was switched out with the Olympic. And apparently, the Olympic received some damage in the area where the Titanic was, or had hit the quote-unquote chunk of ice, okay? And the insurance company wouldn't pay out on it. So what they did is they switched it out for the Titanic's maiden voyage, and they redid the inside to make it look like it was, the Titanic. They didn't have to really get too in detail because nobody had really, it was maiden voyage. Nobody had ever been there before. And they had painted over the name of the Olympic with Titanic. But the thing is, there was one thing they didn't do, and they did not change out the propellers. And on the propellers was written Olympic. So I found it very strange that this private submarine was going down to where the Titanic was and had been snooping around there for a while. And, did they come across the propellers? Did they get proof that it's the Olympic down there? And, just all of a sudden miraculously disappear. I don't know. But, I thought it was worth coming on here and mentioning. Let's take a look at, first off, the missing people. Here we have Hamish Harding. Hamish is a British businessman and explorer. He was among those on board the submarine, according to Mark Butler, the managing director for Mr. Harding's company, Action Aviation. Mr. Harding is 58. He holds several Guinness World Records, including one for the longest time spent traversing the deepest part of the ocean on a single dive. He wrote on his Facebook page on Saturday that he was proud to finally announce that he had joined OceanGate's mission on the sub going down to the Titanic. Next on board was Paul Henry Nargole. He's a French maritime expert who has been on over 35 dives to the Titanic wreck. He's one of 5 people aboard the submarine that has been missing since Saturday. Mr. Nargole is the director of underwater research for RMS Titanic Inc., an American company that owns the salvage rights to the famous wreck and displays many of the artifacts in Titanic expeditions. The company conducted 8 research and recovery expeditions from 1987 to 2010, according to its website, and Mr. Nargole has taken part in over 35 dives to the wreck site. Next on board, we have Shahzada Dawood and his son, Solomon Dawood. And he is a British businessman. Him and his son are among those on board the missing sub, according to the statement from Endrio Corporation, of which Mr. Dawood is a vice chairman. Mr. Dawood is a scion in one of Pakistan's wealthiest family with a background in textiles and fertilizer manufacturing. Him and his son had embarked on a journey to visit the remnants of the Titanic. When contact with the vessel was lost, the statement said asking for prayers for the safe return and also for privacy of the family. This is a timeline of what happened. This was on Saturday, and it looks like they lost contact with the submarine shortly after it submerged. Now, I did a little bit of digging, like I do, and I came up with some information that was quite interesting over here on the Twitter. And so apparently it cost $250,000 just to go on the sub, okay? And I don't know if they're joking, but it says, wow, missing Titanic tourist sub was controlled with an off-brand PlayStation controller. I don't know. Let's take a listen.
Service. an experimental submersible vessel that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body and could result in physical injury, disability, emotional trauma, or death. Where do I sign?
Oh, take your shoes off. That's customary.
Okay. Wow. Inside, the sub has about as much room as a minivan.
So this is not your grandfather's submersible. We only have one button. That's it. It should be like an elevator. You know, it shouldn't take a lot of skill.
The Titan is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths, 2.4 miles below the sea. It's also the only one with a toilet, sort of. And yet I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! Kidding.
It seems like.
Oh God, he wasn't kidding. I honestly, guys, tell you the truth, I thought that was going to be a joke. But oh my Lord, wow. Alrighty then. So, wow. I'm very claustrophobic, and me just watching that put me into like a little trigger here. I like you don't even know how claustrophobic I am. Why did I pull that down? Hold on a minute. Let me pull it back up here. Wow. $200,000 a person, and it's going to be controlled.
Go forward, you press forward. Join.
By a video game controller.
It's got one button, and that's it. Yeah, so we run the sub with this game controller.
Wow. $200,000. You better give me a steak and lobster dinner while I'm on that. There better be turn down service, because wow. And did you hear in the beginning where the guy said that it hadn't even been approved? Wow. Okay. Listen to this one. Absolutely speechless that David Pogue, the CBS journalist who went on the missing Titanic sub last year, witnessed it get lost for hours with no locator beacon and decided not to mention that in his report. Yeah, this guy says this short clip will help you understand why the Titanic mini sub is missing and why this was an accident waiting to happen. Literally everything about the missing Titanic sub is a nightmare. No seats, no space, piloting via an off-brand game controller, sharing air with a billionaire. And why would you tempt fate by paying an exorbitant amount to get sealed into a death capsule named the Titan? Look at this. Wow. Yeah, I'm getting claustrophobic just freaking looking at it. All right, let's get out of Twitter. Wow. Stop screen. All right, let's go over to their website. So this is OceanGate. This is their website. Crewed submersible. I wouldn't even crew. I mean, what do you got? One person controlling the game controller? I mean, really? Crew submersibles for commercial projects, scientific research, and exploration. Though the innovative use of materials and state-of-the-art technology, OceanGate is developing the next generation of 5-person submersibles. Coupled with a patented launch and recovery platform, the deep ocean is now more accessible for human exploration ever before. Okay. State of the art. It was an off-brand. You couldn't even get an expensive one. Oh God. Yeah. So that's their website. See what I got here. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. I can't even. Okay. Why the Titan wasn't safely classed. The missing submersible Titan was classed by an independent group that sets safety standards, and most chartered vessels are. OceanGate said in a blog post in February of 2019 that Titan wasn't classed because its technology was so new and their innovation falls outside of the existing industry paradigm. It said that there was a multi-year approval cycle due to the lack of pre-existing standards. Classing usually checks if vessels meet standards in buoyancy, number of life rafts, and hull materials. The blog post said that OceanGate said that while classing this has a safety value, it is not sufficient to ensure safety. As a sweeping effort to locate the missing submersible continued, Penji Liu, professor of marine hydrodynamics at the British Newcastle University, told NBC News that the apparent lack of signal from the vessel is very worrying. Didn't we just say that there was no signal when that reporter went down? There was no signal, got lost, and there was no signal. So does this have the ability to send out a signal? And it's just not? Ideally, a submersible should send a signal out every few minutes, he said, but it was not known if OceanGate had detected any recent signals after research vessel Polar Prince lost contact with the sub Sunday. OceanGate did not immediately respond to the request for a comment from NBC News. No signal is very bad news, the marine hydrodynamics professor said. The equipment failure due to existing defect, depleted power, or external damage could cause a signal outage, he said. Or just they don't have one. If the submersible's hull collapsed under the enormous pressure, then survival chances are zero, he added, adding that locating it in the first place would also be complicated had the vessel gotten stuck at the wreckage, since sonar systems would need to differentiate between the two. And here is that man and his son that are down there, Dawood, yes, Sulman and Shahzada Dawood. Both British citizens, belong to one of the Pakistan's most prominent families. So they paid a lot of money to go into this death trap. And that's exactly what it is. I'll call it what it is. It's a freaking death trap. The area that they're looking at it is about 900 miles here it is right here. Looking at this, it's about 900 miles in diameter. 900 miles off the coast of Cape Cod, in waters about 13,000 feet deep. So this is where they're looking. This is the place where the Titanic is, the wreckage is, and this is where they're going to continue to look. So our thoughts and our prayers go out to them. Firstly, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. What a horrible experience, and time is running out, and we pray that the Coast Guard and the Navy, the people that are out there, locate them, and this turns out to be a happy ending. I don't foresee that happening, but I seriously hope it does, for the sake of the families. Real quick update on Schumann. We covered it the other day. Trolls were out in force. Disinfo agents and trolls were literally out in force, trying to trying to reel back the significance that we saw with the recent changes in the Schumann resonance. The explanation that they were giving, neither stood up to peer review nor common sense. What they're trying to say was that after, let me pull this up. I deleted it, but I can find it real quick. Just a second. Crap. Wait a minute. Here it is. Oh, okay. Give me a sec. Interesting. Nope, that's not going to do it either because that's just going to take me to. There we go. Okay. Let's pull this up first. Okay, so you know the Schumann resonance, usually what it looks like. I think we all know what it usually looks like. Here's what it started to look like on Saturday. And what happened was I don't think I've got the picture. This is what it usually looks like. And this is what it looked like right up. Okay, so this would be to the left of the picture I'm going to show you. So read from left to right. This was into Friday, coming into early Saturday. They're right here on the right-hand side. There was a lack of data. And then miraculously, this is what started. Okay, now, this is what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that during this lack of data over here to the far right, during this lack of data, something happened, and so when it came back online, they had to recalibrate it, and this is what we're seeing here is the recalibration. Okay, we'll go with that, but I've been watching it for 10 years, and you mean to tell me you've never calibrated over time for 10 years? You never calibrated? What are you calibrating? You're drawing in signals. This has never happened before. The whole calibration goes out the window with peer review and common sense. And then on Saturday night, the website went down. Now, somebody asked me about it, and I told them, I said, well, one of two things happened. Either the attention drawn to the site crashed it, which logically that's probably what happened. Or the government shut it down because they didn't want the information getting widespread like it had been. I'm going to go with the fact that we probably crashed the site. That's what I'm going to go with. But this was what we see today. All that data is missing. And it started back up early this morning. And it looks like it's back to the way it was. So, I don't know. I'm going to say that I'm going to stick with the fact that something was happening, only for the fact, or for the simple fact that, you know, it's, I got the information and it was rechecked. All the information was checked. I actually went a little bit deeper into looking at a part of it, and where did it go? Well, that's interesting. Is my post gone? Oh, here it is. So, because I don't settle for just, you know, looking at something. So here is it straight out off their website, and this is what we saw. Now, if this was calibration down here, we wouldn't be seeing really anything going on. They would be, of course, calibrating. But these right here, if you see the uptick right here, almost to the far right, you can see that it almost starts to like, it spikes up. And if you look down here, we've got a spike here. So it coincides with it. So then I went to look on the Tomsk scale, which is completely separate from the Schumann resonance site. And I went to check the Tomsk. And you can see the average down here is the red. And over the last couple of days right here, how high it spiked up. So they can sit there, these trolls, these different information agents and damage control trolls can come onto the posts and come onto the, you know, people's information and try to shut it down. But I'm standing behind the findings that I've seen with my own two eyes, and knowing what's going on, and speaking with people who do this for a living. And I'm going to tell you that there was something most definitely going on. All right, guys, that's all I got for us today. Again, thoughts and our prayers go out with the family of the people that are in the submarine. Hopefully this does not end tragically. So, yeah. All right, guys, you guys have a great day, and we will see you next time. Remember, guys, eyes open, no fear.